they never are anymore, she mutters. Then she rolls her shoulders back, and the muscles in her tiny forearms bulge to twice their mass. I often forget that she, too, is a shapeshifter, but the trait has come in handy. Her ties to the other shifters mean I have eyes and ears in the heart of the tent crew and the rest of the troupe. It also means I know full well just how unhappy they are. Apparently, they're unhappy enough to risk death by trying to leave. At least the idea of a coup hasn't occurred to them. Yet. Mel hunches over and lifts the guy up by his arms. His head flops to the side like a rag doll. When are they going to learn, I say, helping her by grabbing the guy's legs, that I'm not responsible for any of this? Probably about the same time Mab becomes celibate, she says. I chuckle, which feels strange, seeing as I'm helping my best friend drag a corpse toward the pitch. The purple and black striped tent, the chapiteau, looms against the sunrise like a shadowed beast, like a dark promise of eternal spectacle. Home, sweet home, I think, and we pass under the dimmed neon sign for the Cirque des Immortels. Does he have any family? I ask. We're out behind the chapiteau, just between the main tent and the smaller dressing tent. 4 lines of double-wide trailers, our glorious accommodations, are lined up on one side, and trees flank the other. Back here, we are perfectly hidden from the highway that stretches past the tent's entrance. Back here, in cast-only beyond this point territory, there's no risk of a punter stumbling across Damien's body slumped against a crate. The last thing we need is a show patron realizing there's murder behind the scenes. Melody gives herself a little shake as her muscles twist back to their normal size. Not that I know of, she says. At least he never spoke of it. She sighs and sits down on the crate beside him, looking longingly at the pie cart. I'm sure you could find out in his contract. I sit down beside her and follow her gaze. The pie cart is a small kitchen trailer bedecked in Tibetan prayer flags and freshly painted with roses and wildflowers. The chefs are already in to start their morning shift, and the sound of pop music drifts over, along with the scent of fresh muffins and coffee. You know I don't have access to the contracts, I say. Unconsciously, my eyes flicker over to the bunk trailers, to the door that once led to Mab's otherworldly office. I know. If only Mab weren't such a cold-hearted bitch. I snort. Understatement of the year. We fall silent, and I tap my foot to the faint music from the pie cart. I wish I could say I'm calm, but my heart is beating double time to the music. People are already stirring from their bunks. Near my own trailer, my bunk neighbor Arietta steps out with her yoga mat under an arm and a sleepy smile on her face, like she greets every early day with a hug and a kiss. Damn aerialists and their weird, healthy habits. A few shifters from the furthest trailer emerge to sit on deck chairs and smoke or pick up beer bottles from the night before. Soon, one of them is going to look over and see their comrade slumped beside us. Soon, I'm going to have to tell them that I've failed yet again. I miss him, Melody whispers. There's more pain in her voice than I'm used to hearing, and it makes a similar ache clench my heart. This would be so much easier if he was around. I miss him too, I say. There's no need to ask who she's talking about. Kingston. Just thinking his name sends a torrent of conflicting emotions running through me, but they all course with the same underlying pain. It's the first time she's voiced the sentiment, the first time either of us has tried to bridge the gap that the last month ripped open. Suddenly, the air between us feels raw and tender, like a callus torn from a trapeze artist's palm. Kingston was Melody's best friend. She grew up in the circus, and he had always been her mentor. And he had been my boyfriend, at least until Oberon slit Kingston's throat in a cell in the summer court. After, of course, Kingston admitted magicking my emotions for him.